Before Skeleton, there was the Cresta one. It all started in Moritz, Switzerland, when a bunch of British guys were staying in a Swiss hotel. They were bored and had a sled for some reason, so they started sledding down the streets of the town, much to the distress of the people walking on the streets. The people of the town were angry about this, so they yelled at the hotel owner until he made a track for them. Why they yelled at the hotel owner, for some of his clients did, I don't know. They just felt like it, I guess. But the problem was solved either way. After this, the Swiss got an idea from the Brits, though, so they hired some British soldiers to... Wait a sec. British soldiers? Why would soldiers build a sled racing track, much less in a foreign country? Anyways, they built a track for the Swiss, and the Swiss people were happy about this. The sport gained the name Skeleton in 1892, when another Brit redesigned the sled, and apparently it looked like a human skeleton. Skeleton remained within Switzerland's closet until 1905, when they brought their skeleton to Austria to play. The sled didn't bother them, and the skeleton quickly took off in Austria. Eventually, a bunch of other European countries let it catch on in their countries. In many countries back then and now, it's called tobogganing, probably because going at high speeds on ice caused them to lose their skeleton. Up until the first competition in Austria, skeleton was a recreational sport rather than competitive, where people would simply steer down the track without much stress. But in 1928, skeleton was performed at the Olympic Games, where the Swiss, who'd been practicing for decades, didn't even get bronze. They were ready for 1948, though, when it was added again, and they lost again, this time while hosting. That's embarrassing. A lot of countries who were good at this quite liked it, so they permanently added it into the Olympic roster in 2002. And then, the Swiss used their now century-long training and got a bronze medal. Many events outside the Olympics exist, though, mostly in Europe, and the Swiss do decently well in those. Good job, buddy. I just realized I haven't even explained how the sport's played yet. How about that happens now? Basically, the person runs and drags along their sled until they achieve a good speed, which is when they throw themselves down to the sled and go. Then down the track they go at over 100 miles per hour, scraping the sides of the track and turning by shifting their body weight. By the way, that is 1/5 the speed of a commercial airliner and 2.5 times the speed of Usain Bolt. That's fast. Well, not for a sled racing sport, but it's fast. The way to win the sport is to get to the bottom with the lowest time. The things you need to compete with include an alpine racing helmet with chin guard or a skeleton-specific helmet, skin-tight racing suit made of uncoated textile material, spiked shoes similar to track spikes, goggles or face shields, a sled. In today's skeleton landscape, two people have become in tune with their little sleds. Young Sung Bin from South Korea and Lizzie Yarnell from the UK. Starting with Young Sung Bin, he was athletic and agile his whole life, and he went to a sports university because of it. From what I can tell from my sources, he wins pretty easily too, being the first non-European/North American to win medals in sliding competitions. Leading up to his first Olympic Games in Pyeongchang, people were anticipating greatness from him, and they were not disappointed. Young came back with gold that year because he was determined to win for this country. Lizzie Yarnell grew up in Sevenoaks, England, and went to a few prestigious-sounding schools. She stepped up for Olympic talent scouts, intending to get a sport with horses, but the scouts thought she'd be better at skeleton. And they were right, because she is the best skeleton athlete in the world, even has one more gold medal than Young Sung Bin. As said before, the sport is extreme, due to fast speeds you rush face first into, at 1/5 the speed of a commercial airliner, also without being secured to the sled with anything other than your hands. You could very easily fly off and die, but that's beside the point. And if you are smart and use safety equipment, it has a chance to save your life. A chance. Anyway, by the way, because I couldn't include any actual footage of skeleton in this video because this video get taken down, I included a link to a video from the Olympics in the description.